he contacted Luke, I think, right, initially, and we
yeah, they're starting to branch out into kind of music world, and our recording studio's in Santa Monica, just down the road, and we started hanging out there a bit, and it sort of became a natural progression for them. And we started working with their screenwriters to help develop, the next, part of, this fantasy and journey.
It's interesting, because JJ is a huge synthesizer enthusiast, and he has this amazing array of keyboards in his place in Santa Monica. We were invited to just come in and try some stuff with the in-house composer, and JJ popped in and we had a chat and stuff. Then looking back at documentaries of him and him talking about his youth and how excited he was about synthesizer music and creating all these wild sounds, and he was making weird little movies on Super 8. In some ways our lives are parallel, that we were kids who were fascinated by creation and making things and putting things out there in weird, wonderful worlds that you can create. I really loved seeing this TED talk by JJ, and he's talking about the mystery box. He's talking about the concept of a mystery, and I think it was his uncle that gave it to him, his 10th birthday or something, and it's just a cardboard box and it has all this writing, this magical mystery. If you open this, everything that you wanted is going to be inside it. So he never opens it his whole life. It's still on his shelf in his office. And I just love the concept and I think we come from the same place in that idea, and I see that through his storytelling in the way there's always another thing, there's another reveal that keeps you hanging, and he does it with such mastery and such naivety, I guess, in the way that a child would view something in the most pure and beautiful way. The song, actually, we wrote just down on 9th Street at my place in the garden one morning. And a lot of these songs will have various moments of inspiration that we kind of bookend and glue together. But this one was quite instant, that moment. And actually it was the middle 8, or the bridge, if you like, was the moment that we created first, and then I guess framed it around that. It seemed quite clear early on, and we had a collection of maybe 30, 40 songs, that this one was going to be a leading exponent of the work we were creating. And then in terms of the video, I mean, we knew we were brimming with excitement and so many things we wanted to do, and you're almost like, it sprouts like a rose from your lips, or even a rose garden, and it's hard to kind of contain yourself. And I think the video, we tried to put so many things in, and I think now we have the ability to look at that, and we have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 more videos coming on this record. It felt to me like that was the good place to start, and to start in a whole new world. And Luke dubbed the album Ice on the Dune, and then we happened to be shooting in this place, and we really didn't know what it was going to look like. We had a few photos, but there were different times of year, and we found ice on a dune, which I didn't even know existed.
It was pretty quick, actually. We went to Shanghai, and that morning there was no visual that was born. There was ideas, that was sketched, and we had no wardrobe. We went to the Chinese markets and antique markets in the middle of Shanghai, and there was a guy with 2 fingers. We picked a pattern, a silk pattern, and he said, "I'll make you a jacket." And then we found
my jacket.
Found Nick's jacket in about the 7th story of a Shanghai video and film building. It was just a little hokey store with amazing jackets in there. We found your jacket.
Yeah.
Then another antiques market, we found the headpiece.
We wanted to create something that kids could believe in, and it really seemed like when we were kids, we had posters on the wall of these amazing bands, these rock stars rocking out, and they were from another planet. And it seemed like when we came on the scene, there was nothing really that had a whole lot of depth to it. And we wanted to do something that just extended your dreams. When I was 10, it was Iron Maiden, actually, to be totally true. But which is a very artwork-led band, I might add. But when you're 10, you're all full of angst and you want to be listening to heavy metal. Yeah, feature film is something we talked about since day one. I mean, even on the first record, we wrote a treatment, and we also talked about maybe a stage production or like a Vegas show. We have lofty ideas, and we hope, we see that in the future. But right now, we're kind of, really enjoying what we're doing and where we're at. We feel that the body of work will continue to grow. It does feel like a natural progression to make a big epic film, something like The Last Emperor, or something of that nature. He's been a fan from the outside, and we got him a copy of the record before anyone had heard it. and he flipped out over it. And apparently he was sitting there in his house, and halfway through listening to the album, he just started singing along with everything. Just having a great time, and he keeps calling and saying how much he loves it. And he's been a wonderful, positive influence, and will continue to be so. Maybe down the track we will write a song with him. Who knows where things can happen and what things, you know, can lead to. I heard of a version of it about a year ago, and I don't think any of those songs are on the one that's, so I don't know. But you know, Elton writes a song in 5 minutes, so he could have written 2,000 songs in the time since I last saw him.